So I think the first step to make sure that everyone is involved and included is to somehow make the level of their confidence in front of the camera the same, so they can express what they want to say.
So we're now going to have a panel session where we're going to discuss hybrid engagement. And I'm going to introduce three lovely people to the stage. The first one is Andrew Flannery. He is a lawyer. Very good. Speaker, and quite an incredibly talented musician and singer in his own right. Please welcome Andrew.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. Next one, Pavel Lipovsky. Pavel is a communications coach. He was originally born in Slovakia and has made his way across to Australia as an immigrant and brings a real diversity to our team. Please welcome Pavel Lipovsky. Welcome. And our host for this session, who is a change and resilient coach, consultant extraordinaire, is a wonderful, wonderful part of our team and an excellent facilitator. Please welcome Diane McCabe.
Thank you, Craig. And thank you, Pavel and Andrew, for joining me on stage here. We are going to talk everything hybrid at the moment and have a little bit of an open conversation. I think Demian really demonstrated how important relationships are, and we can see the energy that we all soak up in a room. How can we transfer that type of energy now in the workplace? So, Andrew, I'm going to start with you with a question, first of all. For you, what was one of the most challenging things that you found going from being in the office, being in person with people that you had to work with every day, to then turning that on its head and going hybrid, having to work both online and in person?
Well, I really struggled. I'm a lawyer. I've been a lawyer for 35 years. I'm a partner of Australia's largest legal partnership. We're a big firm with a couple of thousand people. And I've been involved in some of the biggest negotiations in the country. And I'm an influencer, not so much the try-on hall stuff, but the influence in negotiations. And I found it so hard because I know how to work a room, right? I'm reading the body language. And I know when the CEO raises his eyebrow, he's about to turn to me and say, it's your turn. So I, take out my sword and I get silence in the room. And I pause because, as you know, when you pause, it makes you look sexy. So I pause, and everybody's listening when I open my mouth and I speak. But online, oh my God, nobody's listening to me. I can't watch body language anywhere. And as soon as I pause for a moment, someone jumps in on top of me, and as soon as I'm about to make my killer point, it's all about, we can see you, but we can't hear you. You're on mute. It was an absolute disaster. In fact, I became so depressed that I let my hair grow and I stopped wearing pants. And it was truly a disaster. I thought my time at the top of the tree is finished. But what's happened over the last 2.5 years is we've realised in Speakers Institute Corporate, that with some upgrading of equipment and upskilling of the way to use this medium, that I can be a potent warrior again. So it's really my journey from irrelevance to potent warrior.
I think we can safely say that Andrew is bound to be quite potent, whether he is online or whether he is in person. Thank you, Andrew. Pavel, for you being a communications coach particularly, how did you find some of the work that you're encouraging people on how they can be more effective in their presence and their communication online?
It's very similar to what Andrew just said. Because we all know it's easy to imagine what I want to say, but once the line on the camera is on, we just change. Heartbeat is fast, breathing is different, and it's hard to talk. And it can be more challenging for some people, less challenging for others. So I think the first step to make sure that everyone is involved and included is to somehow make the level of their confidence in front of the camera the same, so they can express what they want to say. It's not only just about going quickly through the points I need to say and just switch off my camera, but really be there and be able to deliver what I want to say. So I think the same level of kind of understanding of online presentation for everyone is crucial to be able to communicate effectively.
Very good. I'm hearing some nods and some, yeah, I'm not hearing the nods. It's like, yes,
ESP,
yes.
yeah.
You're not on mute, I heard you. So when we're in that hybrid environment, there is no doubt that one of the biggest challenges that I think has turned from a challenge into being something positive is, and Andrew, I'm going to direct this to you because I know it impacts you in your organization, that those people who felt a little bit lost, who were in remote sites, now actually have a voice. They're starting to feel a little bit more engaged. What have you seen in your organization where people out in the more, that may not have interacted as much, how are they feeling as engaged? What has worked well for them?
Yeah. It's a hybrid answer, as everything is today. That the most amazing things happen. 2020, we're in the law, in the professional services area. I'm sure a lot of you are in the sort of information professional services area. And we had a more profitable 2021 than we did 2019. This working remotely actually really works. And I know for myself, it's incredible. You save all the time doing your hair and makeup in the morning and the time commuting to and from the office. And suddenly you've got an extra 2 to 2.5 hours of time when you can be doing billable work. So for people who are already well-trained, already part of the culture and the family of the organisation, it's an incredible opportunity to be working remotely at home. But we also had young lawyers who were coming through who we didn't see for their first 6 months. They had no engagement with the firm at all. When I learned as a lawyer, I shared an office with an astonishing partner who I still find myself saying things that were really, they're Paul's lines that I got in my first 6 months when I was sitting next to him. And for those people who are first coming through, they need to just be with you and to hear you. For the new people coming in who need to know the culture of the organisation, they need to know about it. And also for the leaders who need to pass on the culture and the learnings and the feelings, they need to be visible. So I think it's a real hybrid answer. And I think, who's in HR here? I know I was talking to Carmen earlier and a lot of you. I think there's an emerging area of HR which is crafting individual solutions for people around hybrid working. What works best for you and how do I monitor and how do I tweak it and adjust it over time? So it's not a single answer on this one, Diane.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yes, and we find that, and I think anyone who works in HR, we all know that very well, that we can't give a definitive yes or no. There are various shades of grey in between. I would love to throw out, are there any questions? We do have Narissa going around there with a mic. Any questions that anyone would like to ask our panel here in terms of hybrid working or even Speakers Institute and what we have experienced with our clients? Just raise your hand and Narissa will bring the mic around. You're all on mute. I'll just let you know. Put on your cameras. I can see you.
I think the internet's frozen.
We've got, yes. Alan, fantastic.
Always
you
happy
can stand
to.
up, Alan. We'd love to see you.
I am quite short. So Andrew, you said about 2.5 hours people could work, but aren't people therefore going to get burnt? And surely 2.5 hours could be used for exercising, meditating, working, playing with fat kids. It doesn't have to be 2.5 hours billing, does it?
The truth is that it brings enormous flexibility. The days I take it home is when I've got an Amazon delivery coming and I want to be there to make sure I can sign for it. And it's fantastic for my associates who've got young children. They have been getting so sick, the kids in childcare this year. I don't know how you're finding it, but they're constantly having things, so they're taking the doctors. There's the biggest tyranny for senior associates with young children is having to be there by 6 o'clock to pick up the kids after childcare. And this working from home takes all of that away. So we need to change the way we do it. I'm not suggesting, Helen, that I actually want 2.5 extra hours out of every person, but that day can be segmented and stretched and changed. We also have to do it in a way that it's not your whole day. I mean, my friend's husband's a merchant banker, and as a wedding present, as an anniversary present, she said, the thing I want is that you look at me before you look at your mobile phone in the morning. We've got to turn that off, and that's part of the learning, that we're not spending all day on business. And that means chunking out some time, going dark for a while. But you're absolutely right. And Ergotronics, your company, understands that the workplace is a place that has to work for people. Yeah. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you. Now, I'm going to finish this off with a quick fire question to both of you, which is, what is your number one tip that you would give to everyone here based on everything you've had in your work experience, of what you've interacting with your clients, with your colleagues, and the work you do with Speakers Institute? What is your number one tip for effective engagement in a hybrid environment? Starting with you, Pavel.
I think it has been said many times, but I love to repeat it. Don't read. Because often people put too much energy into what they want to say. And if they are on the Zoom, they're thinking, hey, there's a screen in front of me, so if I have notes there and I'm going to read, I think it's just fine. But it's not fine at all, because each of us has our unique communication style. And if you polish it just a little bit, you can make your presentation much more entertaining and much more effective. But by reading, you kill all these opportunities. So I think if presentation is prepared well enough, you just need a few bullet points. That's it. And if you spend a little bit more time by polishing your voice tonalities and hand gestures, you can have much, much better effect on people who listen. So don't read.
Yeah, great.
Thanks, Pavel. And for you, Andrew, what's your number one tip?
There were two men camping in the Canadian Rockies. They had their boots off. They'd been walking all day. They heard the sound of a bear. So one man grabbed their stuff quickly and started heading off towards the trail. He looked around, the other guy there was lacing up his running shoes. And he called back and said, do you really think you can outrun a bear? And he said, I don't need to outrun the bear. I just need to outrun you. And my message is, you don't need a $500,000 studio like Anthony Robbins at home to be great. You just need to be 5% better than your competition. But you have to be that 5% better or you'll fall behind.
Well, hopefully there are some pearls of wisdom and some tips that you can take away. Thank you, Pavel, and thank you, Andrew, for sharing your pearls of wisdom on hybrid working experience and what effective communication we can share with the team here. Thank you both.